Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Itai, and it's such a pleasure to be here today on another day like this. Today is Wednesday, the 21st of April, 2021, and we are live. We're direct. We're streaming from Lagos, Nigeria, to West Africa, to Africa, and the entire world. It's always a great pleasure to host the show Mondays to Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Such an opportunity and a pleasure to listen to all our viewers writing their comments, sending their questions. I will try to answer the questions as much as we can. We share the news headlines around and within the world of education, and we also get our analysts in the building, and they get to share their 2 cents and thoughts and views and expertise on the subject matter of the day. Today is not going to be an exception. Today is still going to be another day where we'll have an opportunity to talk together, to share together, to learn together, to deliberate together, because we want to grow together. My name once again is Rotimi Itai, and you're welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. As you connect with us this morning, I would like to ask you to just tell us your name, your location, where you're streaming from, and of course, we will be able to recognize you. If this is your first time, do not hesitate. Just tell us, because we have something called the bell of blessing. We'll ring the bell of blessing to you once you're able to tell us where you're streaming from. We're always excited by our faithful tribe members, those who say something, those who hide and just watch from afar. We appreciate you for your support for over the past 10 to 11 months on the show. It's been a great pleasure working with you, and we believe that we'll keep on going higher. Of course, please do not hesitate to send a message or send an email to us. We'll be willing to share with you our growth journey, and if there's any form of improvement you'd like us to work on, we are also willing to do that. But before then, I'd like to tell you that if you're watching the replay or you're watching us now, please go to the subscription button, subscribe, like our videos, share our videos, follow our analysts and our guests as well. We normally would like to read to you news within the world of education, and this also will drive our direction as well. So today we're starting the show, and I'd like to bring on Finn. Finn, fully good morning. How are you today? Finn, are you there? Hello, Finn, are you there? Hello, Finn, are you there? Finn, okay. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Rotimi. Good morning to the tribe. Good morning, Nigeria, and a special good morning to the internet this morning. We see you, we acknowledge you.
Okay, so we're going to start our news review, and then we're speaking on education. Okay, Bukola calls for national blueprint to address challenges of new normal.
Yeah, this is...
Any comments on that?
We should have been ready for this. This is not the time to just begin. Okay, this is not the time to just begin to get ready or to begin to look at the new normal and what it means for us. So for Peter Kebukola, who is a known educationist, a renowned one, yes, they probably will take things a little seriously now. We've had 1 year into this, what we call the new normal. And before now, we should have had this blueprint and had a revamp of the system. Look at how we're going to work with this hybrid system that is foisted on us right now and making the best out of it. So yes, well, it may be coming a little late, but it's a good call nonetheless that this is time for us to have something national, not just for every institution or every school to have its own guiding principles, but let's have something national and see that they're actually taking this serious to make sure that if next time we have something else that says it may not be a pandemic, it may just be another reason for us to have to return or have to employ the hybrid system of school as we know it right now, that we're ready to plunge into it, we're ready to take the challenge, and that the children would not lose valuable learning time.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's quickly rush ahead to the next headline. And we're speaking about Bell Varsity. Bell's Varsity confers honorary doctorate degree on, I think, Nigeria Brewery Chairman, I think so, NB Chairman.
Congratulations to the chairman. Congratulations to Bell's University on their, what is it? Congratulations to them. This is not really news that, just congratulations to them.
And then the Nigeria University Commission OKs part-time programs for Caleb Varsity.
Okay, well, saying they can run part-time programs, I hope that they are not just saying, okay, you can run this part-time program, but they actually have the accreditation to issue certificates at the end of this, and that these programs are recognized, so that we don't have people putting in time, effort, energy into, even if you call it a part-time program, and at the end of the day, they're not able to use it, they're not able to refer to these programs as something they have done and add them to their certificate or to their CV. Or I just hope everything is in place and in order for the programs to kick off, to run, and to successfully be completed.
All right. On another news, we have Nigeria should visit ICCR portal for academic scholarship, says Indian High Commission. Hello, are you there? Are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, so let's move on to another one. Enugu
Yes,
NAPS.
I'm here.
Well,
It's
Enugu
breaking
NAPS
in and
looks
out
for scrapping of uniform examination.
But I'm here. I can hear you now.
So we're talking
Can you hear me
about
now?
NAPS moving for. Yes, I think I can hear you now.
Wow.
Oh dear. So I believe the network issues caught up with that. So just talking about NAPS. NAPS is National Association of Private Proprietors of Schools, and they're moving for scrapping of uniform examination dates. I think that for more information, you need to get the This Day newspaper or check up their link for more about that. Ugochi, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Itimi.
All right, good morning. We're moving to another headline, and that says NGO gives free jam form to Badagry youths.
That's a laudable one. It's for some, the starting point at all is getting the form. They don't even have enough money to get the form. So it's a laudable one to give people at least a foot in the door. They stand a chance of seeing their dreams come to pass. They stand a chance of actually going to school. So taking that off them, it gives still some time to be able to, either if it's work, if it's any other way of sourcing for funds for school eventually. Hopefully they make the exams. Kudos to the NGO, and hoping we have more of such interventions, because the truth is there are so many people out there who need this kinds of interventions. So well done to them, and congratulations to the youth who were partakers of this initiative.
All right, Ugochi, do you have anything to say?
He has said it. It's a really good one, and it encourages them. It gives them a chance so that they can even, be have the same opportunity or have a chance as this opportunity so that they can get into school.
All right. Thank you for that. So we have special needs students unveil pop-up store from recycled materials. This is from this day life. Yeah.
And this is one that is very it's very heartwarming. This is one that I really, really I like this news items. So many times with the kind of society that we're in, yes, we're waking up to the reality and to the realization that special needs students are just the same kind of students, only that they require a little more attention. So to have them come up with something like a pop-up store from recycled materials, that should tell anybody that there is, apart from maybe something they can't do properly, there is nothing wrong with their brains, there is nothing wrong with their hands. If they cannot physically do these things, they can think them up. And even if in some cases there's a little impairment in properly articulating what they have in their minds, they can still produce something. And together, the entire team coming together to unveil this, it's a really heartwarming one. And I hope that we continue to encourage special needs students, and for parents who have special needs children, please don't keep them hidden away. Please, they're not useless. They're not a disgrace. They should be encouraged. This at least should say that much, apart from all the other wonderful things that we have seen special needs students do. So yes, I am very happy about this news. I hope to see them do more and more and more, especially since they're using recycled materials. They're helping the environment. They're also showcasing the power and the strength in what they can do.
This is proof that when you invest in children with special needs, you will definitely get your returns. And so it's a call for every other person to see that these are children that deserve that investment and even more. Because the fact is that because they are special, they can even do some things at a different level compared to the other kids.
All right. So we have Edo Best. That's the Edo program. Transformation for Education. Pupil emerges one day SUBEB chairman. Just to start.
That's a good training. That's a good training and good internship in leadership for that student. It's a good one. That's it from me.
Thank you. Loma,
I'll just move on to this new one.
Loma and El SUBEB. move to incorporate waste management in school curriculum?
Yes, like this is the best time for them to do this because um it's really important that children begin to learn about these things early. And so when we make it a part of what they learn in school, it just makes it easy for that knowledge to be transferred as opposed to waiting for them to start working somewhere and then they are learning, oh, this is the bin for things that can be recycled, and this is the bin for things that cannot be recycled and stuff like that. So it's important that from the beginning, in simple forms, begin to teach the children so that they grow with that knowledge and it's easy for them to assimilate when they get into society as well.
Is it good to see saying something? I don't think I can hear.
No, I'm done.
All right. Um, so yeah, I think that's about all we can take today on the headlines. And then we head over to the conversation of today. Dear teacher, dear mom. And I'm going to ask me to give us a good introduction into this conversation and then hear the shape of the conversation. So, P, over to you.
Teachers typically wear many hats, and when you are in the classroom, teacher is nurse, teacher is jury, teacher is everything. You're teaching, you're intervening in, you are soother, you everything in that classroom. It's like a small kingdom where the teacher is expected to be everything. So when something happens, the kids run to you. They expect you to have all the answers for that moment in time. But one role that teachers play, male or female, is a parenting role in the classroom. And many times we find that children project their parenting expectations on their parents. It becomes a little bit more challenging or a little bit more demanding on the teacher when this child is coming from a home where either it's something is not right, or their parents are not readily available. Either maybe they're staying with their grandparents or with a guardian because their parents have to travel or they have to be away for work, or for some other reasons the parents are absent. The teacher finds themselves being in that place where they have to actively play the role of a parent, and then you see the children expecting, well, the kind of cuddles I'm not getting from my parents, I want to get it from my teacher. Some of them begin to form some kind of attachment to the teacher, and in some cases, I have experienced a case where a child had actually referred to me as mom in the class before. It was a little weird. The others kind of laughed and said, "Did you just call Miss Mom?" But then it dawned on me at that point that, look, this is a child who is seeing in you what she would like to see in her mother, what she would, the kind of roles she would expect her mother to play. Now, this could be a tall order for teachers, especially where in this times where we have this, we want to train children as much as possible with no contact. You want them to stay safe. You want them to understand what good touch and bad touch is. So when a child, especially where the teacher is male now, and maybe the student is a female child, and they are projecting parenting expectations or parenting roles on the teacher, it could be quite a tight spot to put the teacher in. So I believe that this morning we would be looking at the intricacies, we'll be looking at the different aspects that come into how the teacher can balance being a parenting figure without actually being the parent that the student or that the child is expecting to see. Balancing that, seeing, is this too much to be expected of a teacher? Is it too much for, or is it something that parents should actually take charge of from the house and make sure that that space is not open, so that if the child is looking for what they expect from their parents, if they don't find it in their teachers, they don't cast that expectations to some other strangers who could put them at risk. So I look forward to us having all of these discussions this morning and tabling these things and thrashing these issues out. Thank you.
Thank you. So your topic actually brought out all the moms and all the teachers in the house. So Titi had to show up. Grace showed up. I'm excited that I'll be the referee in between. Titi, good morning. Grace, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. All right. So questions. I think we might start with let's start with Grace. Let's get the warm up. So Grace, you heard the introduction. It speaks to the fact that we have this multiple roles.
There's a major echo from someone. I don't know. There's a major background noise. Okay, it's gone.
Hello?
Okay, it's okay now. It's okay now.
Okay, so like I said earlier, and I would like to pass this to Grace. Looking at the roles that teachers play, teachers are not just instructors or facilitators, like Finn said. They are nurses. They are one in too many places, different things, right? How do we put out this reality, as it were? And how do we get teachers to manage accepting that this is the reality of the role that they've come into?
Okay, good morning again, and welcome everyone that is listening. So for me, I feel like we've always just glorified this profession as, teachers who wear many hats, and it's like a hero kind of thing that are feeling like we're the Indaboskis of the world, we're mothers, we're role models, we're this one, we're that one. Anybody that refuses to step into their role, we're always willing to just be everything to these people that we teach. But I feel like that's where we're having a lot of issues, especially with teachers being able to adequately care for themselves, because we're quick to just step up to the plate to say, okay, if someone is failing in a way, then I'm the next person that needs to just take this responsibility. I feel like we need to start turning it around so that it doesn't now become normal. That's what it's not supposed to be that we wear all the hats that we do. Parents are, when I even saw the topic, I thought it was how moms should function as the first teachers for their children, because the home is the first place where children start to learn about themselves, learn about their surroundings. They're influenced greatly. So I feel like rather than keep glorifying this teacher as a parent, because like Finn said, there are a lot of downsides to it. If we're feeling that role, we cannot do it as well as parents should, because we don't have the time, we don't have all the love in the world to give these children. So we're going to fail at it. We can only be maybe like second best. So I feel like we need to just encourage parents to take their responsibilities. Like they're supposed to be the first teachers of these children. How much time do these children spend in the school? I know it's a lot, but then their first few formative years, they are at home with the parents. So
I'm not campaigning for teachers being mothers, honestly, because we have child safety protection rights laws and all of these kinds of things, and a lot of times it can put teachers in trouble. I've seen it, situations where teachers get in trouble because they are showing so much affection to these kids. Sometimes you don't know where to draw the line and all of that. So it's just a very I'd like to hear from you that they will see and safety chick. Yeah, safety chick is here, Sef. So please over to you people.
All right. You've called them out, so I'm not going to stand in the way. I believe Titi loves every form of challenge. So over to Titi.
I want to hear from safety chick first.
Safety chick. Yeah, under the boss now.
Anyway, personally I feel that balance is key. I'm not advocating that parents should leave their responsibilities for teachers, but then I also believe that one of the reasons why teachers are also there is because sometimes, because you are going to be in the class spending some more hours with the child, you might see some things that the parent may not see. So I'll give you two examples to bring this home. So when I was in JSS1, I started using glasses in 1998, but I did not like to wear them until I went to secondary school in 1999. And because I couldn't see the board, I didn't like my glasses. My glasses were these plastic big glasses. And I was a small child now. So when I wasn't seeing the board, I would lift up the glasses, put it in front of my eyes, look at what I want, and then bring it down. I was not wearing them. It took my literature teacher to find out that I was doing something like that. And she called me one day and she said, "Oh my goodness, you can't do this. That see, when you wear your glasses, it's going to correct your eye over a period of time." She explained to me. My parents did not know I was doing that. She explained to me and she said, "So please, you need to try because it's your formative. So just try, you put it on." And that I will never forget what because that was what made me to start wearing my glasses. And then another teacher that was like my guardian followed up by buying eyeglasses ropes so that even if I want to take them down, they'll be hanging around my neck. They made me to get should I say accustomed to wearing my glasses. And over time, I saw that even helped my eyesight a bit. Of course, my eyesight isn't totally 100% now, but that consistency helped to solve that problem. So it took a teacher going out of teaching maths and English, because she was even teaching literature, to see that there was something. So we're not saying take and train the child, but be willing to also step out from time to time to, put a few touches here and there. Another example I'll give again was when I was in SS2, something had happened in the hostel. Some girls were beefing and there were a lot of issues. So I separated myself from that. And somehow some of my teachers got to hear about it, that there was that beef going on in the hostel. And so it was one of them again that called me and said, "Okay, so what happened? Okay, this is what you can do. This is how to grow thick skin. As a young person, you're going to meet challenges. When you meet challenges, this is what you do." So she didn't have to do that. That was not her subject. She didn't have to, but she just realized that, okay, this is an A student and she's doing well. Let's not allow something else to make her begin. And again, I lived in Lagos. My secondary school was in Akwa Ibom. So someone had to do it. So we're not saying, and this is not, my parents had to do a good job of training me. I have a very good home where we could share things. My parents knew and all that. But there are some things that they could not see because I was in school. So if someone else was not seeing it and saying something about it, maybe by the time I will go home after a whole term is over, it might be too late. So yes, we're not saying that parents should shirk their responsibilities, but I think that it's not totally out of place if teachers can also have some balance, be able to know when to step in and step out. I think what Grace is really advocating is that don't now go and overstep your boundary, because truly you cannot solve all the problems in the world. But then also know the fine balance of where you can, pitch in a little bit here and there, because truth is you spend a good number of time with the children, almost as much as the parents. So are we going to say we're going to leave it fallow? I don't think so.
Okay, and Titi is back. Okay, Titi.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? My internet went off for a few seconds.
Yes, we can.
Honestly, it's an interesting topic. I like Grace predicament, because there needs to be that drawing the line But I'll tell you an interesting story. So this is holiday. My son is going for some dance classes nearby, and so one day he comes and says, "Oh, he's not happy with the instructors." And we asked why. He says
Sorry, your
they don't ask.
volume,
They
your
don't.
volume
My volume.
is
Okay,
quite low.
is is low. Huh.
It's a bit better now.
Is this better? Is this better?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, okay, it is better. So, my son says that they don't ask after them. That when they are looking sad, the instructors are not asking what's wrong. I just started laughing. So the point I'm trying to make is that um, what kids really require from their teacher is a bit of concern. Should you go the extent of being excessively lovey-dovey? No, but they really require a number of emotional connections, and it starts with one, greet me. They want to be greeted. They want you to notice him. There was a day, it was my son's birthday in class, and maybe he came. I don't know what happened, but the teacher didn't say happy birthday till much later. As I was beefing the woman, he had came and told me he doesn't like his teacher. I'm like, what happened? He said she didn't really say happy birthday, as in she didn't really celebrate him. But when I asked him further, she did later on in the day. But he felt, I'm the star of today. You didn't give me that star treatment. So when it comes to what they need, because you need that connection for them to really be able to learn. So it's a lot about, they want you to greet them, they want you to smile at them, they want you to give them attention, they want you to ask about them. Oh, how was your day? How was your weekend? What did you do? They want you to notice them. They want you to let me ask questions. So they have a lot of these things that um, they require. And so you need to do that. You need to create that connections. You need to notice when things, someone that is normally very active in class and is not, you then need to make those kind of, inquiries. So those are some of the things that they inquire, but it's not to then take completely that that mother role. I know there's COVID restrictions now, but they require hugs. That's just the truth. There's a research that was done. I don't know if anybody has ever heard about the research of the importance of hugs, that humans
Yeah,
require hugs, and that when you
it
hug,
helps the
Yeah.
human brain.
yeah, and when you hug someone, it actually releases a chemical, um, one of these chemicals. I can't remember which of them now. It releases one of these chemicals, so that if people live without it, it's part of it's part of some of some things that happen to them. So it's really important. So there's some of those needs that the kids need to flourish in your class, and you need to be able to give to them. But then there needs to really be the balance, where you're not taking over being their mother, but they need that emotional connection. So they need the I mean, if you don't do the hugs, we need to be mindful of the greeting them specially. We need to be mindful of noticing them. We need to be mindful of giving them smiles, letting them ask questions, asking after them. Those key things you know are required, and it's so amazing. And the problem is that some people in the class are more emotional needy, if I may use that word, than others. Some are okay with just the greeting, some need a bit more. And I think a teacher's role is to be able to um, identify all those things, identify what each person needs. That's why when the class is really very large, those kind of things are harder for the teacher to do, and notice and be able to give that. So with smaller classes, is easier to know that, oh, this is what this person, these are some of the person's emotional needs, compared to the other child. But those things are very important. I just gave those two examples to show that they want that emotional connection. They need that emotional relationship for them to flourish
Absolutely.
in the classroom. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And bringing the question, bringing this question to Fee and also to Grace. Is it advisable to encourage a special attachment between students and teachers? What happens when the inevitable separation happens?
Okay, is Grace going first?
Okay. Grace, do you want to go first?
How about me? Is this how we're going to be doing today? Okay, that's all right. So for me, the answer is very straightforward. No, it's not. It's not advisable to have. If I understand the question, it's saying, "Oh, I have 20 students, and then I have like a special attachment with a couple of them, or not." Okay.
Yeah.
So reading it again, I'm seeing, is it advisable to encourage special attachment between students and teachers? Like that's like all the students and the teachers. So I
Yeah.
feel, based on everything everybody has said, we just need to find that balance. And it's really hard. So, because for me, my question will be what then happens with teachers and students that are of the opposite sex? We've had cases where some of my colleagues have gotten into trouble, for example, when the school knows that, oh, this is the teacher that is very, very free and open with the students, and they like this teacher, especially for like male teachers, and something happens in the school. So we've had cases of abuse, for example. If anything like that happens, the child is going to be believed rather than the teacher. So even in cases where the teacher is innocent, it's hard to now start to explain stories that touch the heart. So I would say we need to find like a professional balance to this thing. When is it getting too much? When do I need to just step back and wear the other hat? So I know a lot of times we want to quote Homer's no significant learning can take place without significant relationship. And my question is, yes, for elementary level, I would, buy that. But then we learn, from people that we don't even have any form of relationship with. So are we necessarily now saying that we cannot learn if we don't have relationship with people, or are we talking about relationship with their materials and things like that? So I think we need to start to think of other ways that we could supplement this I don't know, these emotional ties. Are there other things that we can do to fill up the gap so that we're not doing too much, we're not going overboard, and just really for peace to reign, or to be honest, because there are other times where you get into trouble even with the parents. So it's like, oh, Miss Grace is occurring in my house a lot of times. Some parents are excited about it to know that, oh, there's that teacher figure that truly cares about their child, and can step in where they need to. But then there are other parents that they take it personally. It's like, oh, you want to take over my motherly responsibility. And I'm like, who is dragging child with you? Those kinds of things. So I feel like it's just it's very dicey, to be honest. And sometimes it's not a great place to be when the troubles arise. So Fini, please, over to you, because today I'm just on the I'm on the left.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a cheap evil laughter. like vampire laughing.
Okay. Well, in this situation, I feel like the teacher is the victim in this situation, victim in quotes now, because you have this child that is, you really care about them, not just about their learning. For many teachers, the relationship they have with their students is beyond just, oh, you're my student, you come to class. You have the desire to see them become better. You have the desire to see them being well. That's why teachers find it difficult to look away when others many times teachers find it difficult to look away when students in their class are being bullied, or when they're sad, or you just come in, you try to find a way to make them feel better. So where you now have a child, I had an experience like that. In my own case, this particular student was a male student, and he just had this fascination that I could not explain. For me, even as a teacher, it was uncomfortable. Like every time he got into class in the morning, he would come around, he would want to hug. But of course, they knew that school laws or school principles said that you should respect people's personal spaces. But then he would stop in front of me and give those puppy eyes and say, Miss, can I hug you? So at that point, you have to be able to I had to be able to put my feet down and say, no, you can hug me. It's not something the school allows. It's not, just having to explain that. But then one thing he would always tell me is, well, the school says I can't hug you, but it doesn't mean I can't pull you. So because of him, anytime I had hair that was flowing, I would have to pack it, because this young boy would come around and pull my hair, and I felt, look, for me, it's uncomfortable, but for him, it was like, okay, I just like to be, I like the fact that you're my teacher. I like whatever it was that was missing, that he was trying to fill in, I don't know. But for a teacher to be able to say, uh, to be the adults and let the child know that, look, at some point you're going to have to move from my class. If you don't move from my class, I could be moved, and it's not going to be. We should encourage them to build good relationships across board with other students, with other teachers. Let them be able to find that community of support in the school system, not attaching to one, because for some of them, bigger issues may arise when they have to move on. The school system is such that it's not permanent. You can't have the same teacher all through your life in school. And when that separation now has to happen, we don't want to begin to deal with children coming down with separation anxiety or coming with all sorts of things, because they see that teacher as, oh, this is that person that gets me totally. I had a student like that who had been using emotional blackmail on the teachers all the while. He would tell them, oh, if you're my friend, you would help me. And of course, the teachers were feeling like, okay, I need to help this child, I need to help this child. When he tried it with me, I told him, I'm your friend. And because I'm your friend, I'm not going to help you do this work, but I'm going to help you find a solution to this problem. We're going to walk through it together to find a solution to it. So it's not advisable to encourage that special attachment. Teachers' pets. We used to have those teachers' pets kind of students. It's not advisable to have that kind of attachment, knowing that it's a 3-term relationship. Once the 3 terms are over, everybody goes there. We may still be seen in school, but you don't have that kind of access to me anymore. I don't have that kind of access to you. I can't fill that role for you. Instead, make friends with other people. Make friends. Every teacher you come across, let them be your friend. Let them be your teacher. Let them be, just see them as being in your life at that time and helping you to navigate that time in your life. So that's what I think as teachers we should be passing across. It may have a few good effects that, oh, I have the student who is a pet who comes around me all the time. But we shouldn't encourage it, because at the end of the day, when they really have to move on, it could lead to more serious issues that we may not even be able to go into right now.
Wow. That's like a return leg, Grace. Okay, so
We're on the same side. Grace, we're on the same side here.
okay, so it's getting interesting. I have a second question. And this question, I'm giving the question to Safety Chick. Should schools get involved in issues between parents for the sake of the child?
There's a limit to how
Why
much
did
they
you do
can do
that
there.
sound now?
They are not should I say, a counseling, how do I put this now? It's not really the job of a school. Let's just make that very clear. All the school can do is advise from the angle of the child. So that means when they are giving giving advice and recommendations, they are saying that, oh, we notice that the child is having this. If they are not even supposed to bring up whether there's any issue between the parents, because you really don't know and you don't want to be dragged into issues. So the school is supposed to focus whatever recommendation is making on the child and say, okay, so we notice that the child is going through this, is going through that. These are the recommendations for, and this is how the parents can support. It is now left for these parents to now say, maybe if, for example, they're living in separate homes, maybe the parents are separated, say, okay, because we're living in separate homes, this is how to make it work when you have it. And that's the parents' conversation. But for the school, if the school has to be able to maintain its neutrality while also pushing and advocating for the child. So whatever recommendation is making us to focus solely on, this is a problem the child is facing right now. This is our recommendation for how you as parents can support to make this work. And then in addition to that, the school can now maybe provide maybe certain resources to help the child. But if you want to now go to start being the judge between between parents, they are going to be dragged into a mess. And you know how these things can spiral out of control. When a parent now goes to go and write about it in a flawed way on social media, then they now make you look bad. Meanwhile, you were trying to do something right. So focus so that even if you are dragged somewhere, there is proof of what the intervention you are trying to give. So emphasis should be on the child, recommendations for the child, how the parents can help. And then, of course, seeing how, is there any other way you can help the child in school, maybe through resources, maybe with the help of the teachers and all that, and not trying to join issues with the parents.
Thank you so much. That's quite profound.
I,
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If
I,
you're joining us,
I,
this is
I
the Good
completely,
Morning Education Show.
I was saying that I
Titi, you
completely
were saying what?
agree. I was saying that I completely agree with safety check. Once
Hello,
it's not
Titi.
impact. Hey, what's wrong with my
Yeah, I can
internet
hear
today?
her,
Okay, so I
but I
was saying
can
that
hear her.
We can hear you.
okay, I was saying that once it's not once it's not, oh my goodness, sorry about that. I,
Hello.
so I want to switch off one phone and okay, I wanted to say that once it's not affecting the child, I think the school needs to stay out. So when it starts affecting the child, they need to always take the position as it relates to the child. I'm sure they see this all the time, but they just have to, draw the line between what is the responsibility of the school. So once it's not affecting the child, and even when it does, they need to determine, um, like safety chick, really say that this and this is what happened. This is what we've observed. This is how it's impacting. So we just want to know, how should it be managed? Because honestly, when it comes to issues with parents, the thing can have plenty legs, plenty heads, and
As
plenty
in,
tails.
Hydra problem.
So, Titi, so that brings me to the third question. Where a child cannot find a parenting figure in a safe place and the teacher wants to respect the personal space principles, would it be in good faith to look away and just leave the child susceptible? This question is to you, Titi.
Okay, you said when a child cannot find a parenting figure in a safe space, uh, would it be good to look away and just leave the child susceptible? I mean, the teacher does some things within the boundaries. So he won't meet all the parenting needs, and I don't expect them to, but they would show, now, one, they would show care, which is the first thing we said. They will show care. So uh, I care about you, within the limits. Like that's what Finn was saying. So I care about you. I'm your friend, but they're within the limits of what has been defined either by your parents or by the school. And I think we can't solve all the problems, but we can solve some. So the ones that we can solve, if the child can come tell you about their problems, and how you can help, yes, So let me say, for instance, if you notice that there's a child in your class that maybe doesn't come to school with their lunch, if you don't say you go and give the person food, the parents now come the next day and says my child had an upset tummy, and he told me that you gave me something to eat. So I'm just giving you. I mean, he's, he gave you something to eat, so you put yourself in trouble, and that's a lot of what we were hearing from Grace today. Grace was just talking about all the things that can go wrong. So it it's true. So it means that you are aware of it. What can you do? Instead of saying, okay, you know what, give the person your lunch or buy something for the person in this day and age, you then need to go on and say, you know what, I'll write a note to your parents. I'll put it in the school communication that please, I've observed that he's not coming home. Would appreciate, so that if anything happens, there's that track record. So there's a real balance that the teacher has to be aware of. So for me, is the fact that as long as the child's safety, it's not being compromised, you as a teacher, you need to act with caution and within the refines of the laws that the school has done. If you are then concerned, very concerned, then escalate it to management, escalate it to the principal, head of school, to say, look, this is what the school is saying, but I'm specifically concerned because of this and this. But when it comes to parents, teachers, we need to act within all the limitations and restrictions that have been put in place, because they are put in place for the safety of both the teacher and the student, so that it will not have tail leg. I don't know if I've answered.
Yes, absolutely. And we also had Olushola Olumide writing and said, as much as teachers are not to take over the roles of moms, the teacher needs to care for the children beyond teaching them. This will promote bonding, which in turn will promote the feel-good hormones in the children and then make learning easier. So the last question I'd like to ask, and that's the question I'm throwing to everyone, starting with our lovely Grace. So, what is the place of professional counselors in schools? Can they be opting to helping teachers out in cases like this? So first with Grace, then with being back to Dr. Titi. Grace, over to you.
Okay, so that's one of the things I appreciate Mrs. Adewusi's last comment when she said there are times we'll need to escalate the matter to management. And one of the things I wanted to say is a lot of times we may need to carry our heads of departments along or the school management along. One of the challenges we face sometimes is that because some of these teachers have been affected negatively in the past, they just want to be like, oh, this one is not my business. So so that there could also be that challenge, but we keep doing what we need to do. Our the place of counselors, like professional counselors, cannot even be overemphasized. It's rather unfortunate that in this part of the world it's not something that we really pay attention to. It's only like the really, really, really super highbrow schools that you would find counselors, and sometimes they're even on part-time basis. But I think that's another area we need to start to look into, for the mental health of these children. There are times we have cases of abuse, for example, and as a teacher you discover that these cases of abuse are even within the home. That matter is not even something that you can start to, it's just a very huge matter. So sometimes we need to even after much deliberation reach out to organizations that specifically deal with abuse, and then the counselors have to step in that area as well. So I would say yes, we need more counselors in schools. We need more attention, to be paid to these areas that we don't really talk about. So I would say carry the school management along as much as possible. We find it more in the communities where we teach. These kids come to school like they're hungry and all, but you cannot give them out of your lunch because something will happen. That's where your village people will now unleash on you, and the child that was okay before, you just realize the child is now not feeling well or something happened. So you need to sometimes what we do is, make the school aware, just make the school aware of what you're doing, because it's a good thing you're doing. You can't even be a teacher without having that heart. You can not have it. You cannot be a teacher without having that nurturing, motherly, spirit. So I'm not coming from the villain perspective. I'm just saying that for professionalism and just to have a so that everybody will be fine last, because you cannot do things at the detriment of yourself as a teacher, basically. So yes, I would say we need more counselors in our schools. In schools where it's way out of their budget, I would say you can hire one on a part-time basis. So have like contract counselors that you can call up to attend to some of these needs when you have them. So those are my
Thank you
takes.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Sophie, very quickly, your thoughts on the
Yes.
question.
The place of professional counselors in schools cannot be overemphasized. The comment we had from Olushola Olumide says that the promoting feel-good hormones in children. Yes, the fact that they're children does not mean that they are less human. So the same kind of feel-good hormones that adults have, or that they feel when they're able to express and talk to people about their issues and have solutions to it, kids also have the same kind of hormones. And where I think that, or why I think that professional counselors will do better, or should be the first option to cases of children having this kind of attachment or separation issues home. And when we talk about their teacher, their mom, we're not talking only about the mom, we're talking about parents here. So it is the father that is missing, and you have a particular child forming an attachment to a male teacher because they don't have the father. So here it's not just about the mom, but I think that it's better if when schools have professional counselors, then because they are professionals, they know how to go about helping these children without them forming. Without the counselor is able to separate their emotions from what they are doing, and also help the child not to form emotional dependence on them. So yes, we definitely need professional counselors in schools. It's time schools look more into these things and invest in having either resident or on-call counselors in the schools. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And finally, Dr. Titi, wrap up with the comments for the show today.
Yeah, I think everyone has said it. We do need them. And more than needing them, we also need constant training and awareness to both parents and teachers about mental health. Um, it's just so important more now than ever, with the likes of a lot of 1 year of COVID. Uh, so many people not having the normal connections that they typically would have. We need to be training teachers so that they are also able to identify the signs. They're also able to be like the first aid. You know how you do first aid for situations. Same thing with parents. We also need to educate them because a lot of things sometimes the parents observe it at home, but they don't know the meaning. They don't know the implications. So beyond the guidance counselor, which we definitely need, we just also need to create a lot of awareness and education for both teachers in schools and parents. So that's really what I would say.
Thank you so much. And I'm afraid this is where we have to draw the curtains today. It's been a great time. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Titi. Thank you, Fee. Thank you, Safety
Yeah.
Tick, wherever you are. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Olushola Olumide. Thank you, Princess. Yes, I said Safety. Titi, what did I say?
Yeah, I wanted to congratulate Grace. Grace, well done on your on your should I call it on your talk and presentation to the Teacher Teach Connect and say, hey, see my great. I wanted to share the
Thank
video
you
with
so
everybody.
much. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm grateful.
When I teach for Nigeria, I wanted to see then how will I share everybody on this Good Morning Education show? let me send them the link so they can see our grace in action.
Oh, thank you so much,
I'll
ma'am.
send it to you. Well done, congrats. More strides. Amen. Okay, Rotimi, sorry, back
Amen.
to you.
No, it's fine.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Well done, Grace.
I'll do
Oh,
with
thank
this
you. You guys are making me feel
privately.
like it's my birthday.
Above fire. Let's get off the show. We'll deal with this privately. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we're able to take. We'll be back tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. for another edition of the Good Morning Education Show. And trust me, it's going to be a fantastic time. Until then, the ladies have something to tell you as we all go off.
It's always
a great morning.
It's always a great
awesome.
morning on the
On
Good
the Good
Morning
Morning
Education Show.
Take care. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye, everyone.